It's your girl Juice or Saína, back again with another video for you guys. This time an evening special. And this video is geared specifically towards La Santísima Muerte. So I'm just going to be explaining to you guys my journey and how my journey began with La Santísima Muerte, and a lot of misconceptions, clearing up misconceptions and connotations and things of that nature that are attached to La Niña. So let's get right into this video. Alright, y'all, so we're going to begin on where and how my journey began with La Santísima Muerte. So this journey began years ago. I want to say around 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, 2018, 2019. I had been around 18, 19, 20 years oldish. I had a friend at the time. Let's just say her name started with a T. Shout out to T. T was a real one. And she actually was the one who first introduced me to La Santísima Muerte. Well, she was the first person that I knew personally, which is really funny now that I think about it. This journey is still going. She still shows me things. This was the first person that I was very close with who was a Santa Muerte devotee. So I have always had a very respectful personality. So I'm very respectful of things, people, places. So when she would tell me about La Santísima Muerte, I would just listen and I would just kind of like, because at the time there was actually in my mind preconceived notions on La Santísima Muerte. Now, I didn't believe them, but they were there, and I was just kind of like, let me give my respects and let me just observe without saying anything or without doing anything. But there was a night where T and I, around this time, we had it a little rough, and she and I were anchoring each other down. And so we were anchoring each other down, and we were just doing the best that we could do during that time. So T and I did work together around this time, and there was one specific night, I want to say we really had a hard time finding where to go. We did find where to go, and T pulled out some of her stuff, and she kept emphasizing to me like she really didn't want to. Oh, this is actually bringing back memories. She was telling me a little bit about what was going on where she was staying at previous to her and I staying together for a little bit. The people that she was with, they didn't approve of her Santísima Muerte altar and things like that. So she kind of had to keep her in her closet, hidden away and things of that nature. So fast forward. So this specific day, she just kept emphasizing to me like she needs to put a candle up for her. She really wants to light a candle up for her. Keep light around her altar. So we did get a chance to do that. She did put her little altar up, and we prayed together, and I prayed out of respect. I felt it in my heart. I felt moved to pray with her to La Santísima Muerte out of respect, and also what's the word? Just out of respect, but also as if how do I put it? Like, I see you and hear me hear you sort of thing. Like, I hear you, like, hear me in our situation. So that was the first time that I prayed to La Santísima Muerte, and I was really introduced I really didn't think too much of it. We did our prayer and we continued on about our journeys. But I never got into La Santísima Muerte. I didn't do further research. I didn't really pay attention to that very big sign. So boom, years went by, and every once in a while I would hear her name, La Nina's name, but it wasn't until last year, endings of 2023, beginnings of 2024, and all throughout 2024 at different time periods, that Santísima Muerte was just really showing up in my life and was really trying to grab my attention, through different forms, through people, through things, music, stuff like that. But it was very interesting because I was saying, around 2024, last year, Santísima Muerte was really making herself really known in my life, especially through people closest to me. And I feel as though she did that very much on purpose, because she knows that I'm a very straightforward person. If it's something that she knows basically where my strings are attached, to put it that way. So if she knows that if she got my attention through people that are very close to me, I would listen. So that's exactly what she did. Come to find out, my brother actually is a Santa Muerte devotee as well. And so is my younger sister, my baby sister, who doesn't even live in the States. She lives back in Venezuela. I didn't really know about their love for La Nina until really the ending of 2024, beginning of 2025. But she, like I said, she was making her debut very much known back in 2024. So it wasn't until February of 2025, earlier this year, when I had a deep conversation with my brother, who at the time was in prison, and he was telling me a little bit he had mentioned her. And that day, that same night, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and research her. And at this point, when I had that deep conversation with my brother, I didn't remember about the memory I had with my homegirl T. It was nowhere to be found in my mind until during that night. I stayed up hours and hours and hours on end just watching videos, and it was like she was putting specific videos for me to watch. It was her guiding me towards the right videos, because like I said, there are a lot of preconceived notions on her and just lies on her, and she definitely guided me towards the correct videos. So it wasn't until I was doing that deep search, hours into doing my research, that she reminded me, like, hold on, you have prayed to me before. You remember when this happened with T? And I had an aha moment in that very instance, because I had completely forgot about that memory, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you have been trying to reach out to me, you have been trying to connect with me, you have been trying to communicate. So the communication lines were already there, but when I solidified the connection, the communication, and I said, you know what, I'm listening, I'm open to receiving messages from you, to receiving communication, to feeling your energy, is when I really did feel her energy. And I was like, okay, you've been like right there, like at bay the whole time. So from then on, it was just, me and mommy. So let me tell y'all something about La Santísima Muerte. Santísima Muerte is the ride or die, no pun intended, but she's that girl. Like, Santísima Muerte is a very, very powerful guide, a very powerful spirit, a very powerful, she is death. She is there with you when we do die. So she's a very complex spirit, and you cannot box her in. This is one of the things that I have learned to know just off of who I am, my own wisdom, but listening to her, actually listening to her, and not what the world has labeled her to be or said about her. I have realized that she's so much more than what people think, and it's really beautiful to see. And if you're doing fucked up things to people, or you're just a fucked up person, that can be scary for you. But there's so many misconceptions on La Santísima Muerte. So we already did cover, my journey with La Santísima Muerte. And throughout this whole year that I have been really just praying with her, communicating with her, and things of that nature, she's come through since day one. Back in February, when I really got into research with her, I was in a situation where I really needed help. Me and my mama really needed help. We didn't have anywhere to go, and when I tell y'all, she made it happen like that. I asked her, and the reason I know, one of the signs that she gave me that I know that she was listening and she got my back, there was like mad crows all around my car. There was mad crows all around the car. There was so many crows just flying around, and one specifically landed right in front of the car and just was staring at me. And when I acknowledged it, it flew away. So there will be signs. Be prepared for that. And she will, depending on the person as well in your situation, she will appear to you in your dreams, but she does start to give you she will start to give you little hints and clues on her appearance, and just making herself known. She is an active spirit. There's some spirits and deities that are not as active. They'll come every blue moon, they'll come every once in a while. You have to really call on them and really offer them things in order for them to really open those lines of communication. But not with La Santísima Muerte. La Santísima Muerte, you dial her number and she's gonna pick up every time. And throughout me watching these videos, like I mentioned, she guided me to watching those videos. They were just the people explaining things and just talking about their personal journeys with La Santísima Muerte they had beautiful energy. Like, they genuinely had a really great energy. And you could just tell a lot about these people through their videos. Now, there was one specific person that caught my attention, Cure the Healer. Shout out to you, girl. On point. She caught my attention a lot because she was actually not a fan of La Santísima Muerte when she first started. She is a fellow voodoo practitioner. Shout out to you, sister. But like I said, she wasn't really a fan. And sometimes her and Santa Muerte began to have that relationship, and then the relationship grew from there. She loves her and adores her, like most people do after they get to really know La Santísima Muerte. But the reason why I really enjoyed her personal journey was because it wasn't like, oh, I love La Santísima Muerte to begin, It was just her genuine experience from the beginning. And a lot of these people just always have really great things to say. Like, there's no one I've met that doesn't have any great things to say, but there are a lot of bad things that they do say about La Santísima Muerte, and we will go over those. I feel like I'm gonna have to break this video into 2 parts, honestly, so I'm probably just gonna leave this first video on my journey with La Santísima Muerte, and then I'll give you guys misconceptions and falsehoods about La Santísima Muerte in a part 2. So like and comment, period. But leave me a comment letting me know if you would like part 2 to this Santa Muerte video. So again, with La Santísima Muerte, some of the things some of the ways in which she appeared into my life. Um, After watching a few of her videos, I kind of picked up one thing or two here and there. And so I did put her out her little conchas, some coffee. We would drink coffee together in the mornings, and I'd light an incense. And the first time I did that, I was just like blown away, because as soon as I lit the incense, the aroma of the concha was 10 times increased, letting me know that she not only appreciated the concha that I brought for her, but she was right there eating it with me, and that felt really comforting. So, like I mentioned, she's just been kind of guiding me to find the right people to listen to as far as she goes. Shout out to Leroy as well. He's on YouTube. He's also on Instagram, but he's really big on YouTube with a lot of information on La Santísima Muerte. He knows a lot of her different aspects. La Santísima Muerte does come in different robe colors. They're just different manifestations of her, different aspects of her. So, for example, I have La Niña Blanca. That's who first came to me. But you can very much so work with other aspects of her. It's kind of just the communication thing, and as she comes to you, because she will make it known that she wants to come to you, and the specific aspect will reveal themselves to you as well. So for me, for example, although I do have La Niña Blanca, I know that La Niña Negra and La Niña Roja do want to work with me as well. So, it's just kind of like depending on your personal journey, your spiritual journey, and your communication with La Santísima Muerte. But she definitely will guide you. She definitely will show up in your dreams. If you ask her, like in the beginning, when I first started my journey with her, I was still kind of doubtful. I wasn't sure if I was just like wanting to work with her, or if I didn't know if she really did want to work with me. And she really didn't want to work with me, because when I tell you, everywhere I turn my head, she would pop out. And I'm saying in the sense of like through people, through things, through tattoos. I'm telling you, like, I was at a shelter, and this guy, he was at the shelter too, and he was like telling me about his tattoo, which is the Reaper, and he was just telling me about that. And that same day I had asked her for a sign, and there it was. And then in the morning times, like, I would see skulls or like just little things, just like I said. But she will definitely show you. So all you have to do is ask, because like I said, she's very active. She does not play with people that love her, like people that she's guarding after and working with. She does not play. So like I mentioned, my journey with La Santísima Muerte has been very, very beautiful, to say the least. And I continue to grow, continue to learn things with La Santísima Muerte. But the most beautiful thing is that she's very guiding. She does guide you through every step of the way, and I really do mean every step of the way. If she feels some type of way, she will let you know. And we're going to get into that a little bit more on part 2. But it's not like how people say, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to die, or like, we're going to get into that in a part 2. But I just wanted to let you guys know how I got acquainted with La Santísima Muerte. I've been acquainted since I was very, very young. But like I said, I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't really think of it. Just kind of went over my head. And she was just like, okay, let's just wait until she's ready. And then when I was ready and she knew that I would pay attention, she came back just like that. And, it's really amazing how present she's been in my life. Before I even noticed that. So I'm really grateful and happy to be able to have shared this with you. Nina's very happy as well that I was able to share with you, because she really wants us to share more of who she is. With La Santísima Muerte, her energy, she wants us to share truth about her, because there are a lot of lies and misconceptions, and people are afraid of her, and that just speaks volumes on what people think about death. Because death is a part of life. Death is a very natural thing, but it just kind of lets you know where the collective's subconscious mind really is, as far as life and death goes, and just natural cycles and things like that. So she's nothing to be scared of, nothing to be afraid of. Um, what I can say as comfort, and it may sound cold, but it's just the truth. When it's your time, and no one and nothing can stop it, delay it, or get in the way of it, you know? And death is not the one who kills you. Death is simply the one who's there to guide you and comfort you when you do pass to the other side. So I really pray that that brings you some hope and that brings you some warmth and comfort in your heart. Like I said, there's nothing to be scared of. But I will get into some more of this juiciness in that part 2. So love y'all later.